Luigi Mansion Dark Moon is a great game. So great that I actually managed to beat it myself. And let me tell you, it wasn't actually all that easy. There was a couple levels that I did have some troubles on, and some levels didn't let me move, and some levels were really chaotic, especially Paranormal Chaos, which I'm never ever going to play that level ever again. But I am going to replay the level a bunch of times. Like, I love this game. I want to keep playing over and over and over again. That's the thing about Luigi Mansion games, is that they're really good. This game brought back the Luigi Mansion franchise. From the beginning of the Luigi Mansion franchise to this game, and this game brought it all back, and now Luigi Mansion 3 is out. But I just wanted to take a moment to go back to the past and look at this game for a little while. Mind you, once I do get a Nintendo Switch, I will, and I repeat, I will play Luigi Mansion 3 and beat it. Hopefully. But in this video, I'm ranking all the bosses from worst to best. This is my own personal opinion on the bosses, but for now, let's get right. Okay, number 7 was by far the easiest to decide. But the worst boss in the game is the Eerie Staircase. And why do I think this? Well, because of many things. The Eerie Staircase has a cool design. I like it. But it's just a staircase. But there's another thing that I don't like about this fight. It's extremely slow. And I kind of wish this would have been like the final boss. No, not the final boss. Sorry. Mind that. Do not mind that, please. I kind of wish that this would have been like the first boss in the game. Not the second. The Spider Queen is... Heck, the Spider Queen's more harder than this friggin' boss. Heck, King Boo is harder than this boss. Every other boss is harder than this boss. Why is this boss even a... doesn't qualify as a boss. It looks more like a mini-boss. Which I will be ranking the mini-bosses once I get some footage of that. Hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. Will I ever get some footage of it? I don't think so. But then again, this boss is kind of hard in one way. Oh, by the way, there is no hard parts. This boss sucks balls. Okay, so let's move on to the final boss. That is the worst boss in this game. This boss was not all that fun. See, he just repeats attacks. His main attack is going down from the sky and creates a tiny little shockwave that doesn't really hurt you. He'll then chase you, and then you have to look at him, and as the mines fall from the sky. It can be extremely, extremely annoying when the mines hit you. And he just repeats his attack over and over and over again in this first phase, and it gets very tedious and annoying. Then it looks like you have defeated him, but then he comes out of it. And then here's the only good part that I actually could give praise for him. This is the only fun part of this level. And this is actually quite cool. Even though it's the second worst boss in the game, let me say, it's infinitely, I repeat, infinitely better than the worst boss in this game, mind you. This is just kind of fun, just to go through this entire thing. But the first time I played through this game, it was super, super, super annoying to go through here. Which I didn't really like this part that much, just because of how annoying it is. And also, I didn't even know that there was actually a thing there, and you actually go around for the first time being. But then again, the fight, It is fun. I have to give praise for him for that. Nintendo was creative, but I think that Luigi Mansion 1 takes the cake of being the best King Boo fight. The Bowser thing and everything, that was pretty cool, but Luigi Mansion Dark Moon, I just think he was lacking that. So that makes him the second worst boss in this game, making him at number 6 on this ranking. And remember guys, this is just all my own personal opinion, so if you disagree, I kind of understand why, but in his second phase, he gets more annoying, and this happens. And this is really about all he does, really. But in his third phase, he'll do a bunch more, and that's about it. And then you just read the text. Okay, next. Number 5 on the list, we have Big Boo. This fight is infinitely better than King Boo. An own Boo. Better than their own master. Now that is just hilarious. But his fight is much, much better. I'll tell you why. You have to use the Boo's tongue and then try to hit them right back into the cages, and they'll just not move for the rest of the fight. If you take too long to defeat them, they'll go back to Big Boo. So Big Boo, I see in the very first part of this clip here, he actually went into the ground and then tries to ambush you. And if you take too long to defeat the Boos, they'll go back to their original form, Big Boo. Then Big Boo will proceed to start to stomp on the player over and over and over again. And I just thought the fight was much more better, as you had to try to aim carefully, and if you don't aim carefully toward the drill and pop was Boo, then you... So, at number 4, we have the Sheed Possessor. I think that's what it called. Heed Possessor? I don't know what it's called. It's a very weird name. I don't know what it's called. It's like S-H-E-E-D. That's what it's called. If you guys know what it says, leave a comment below, because I cannot pronounce this possessor's name. But he possesses a little bit of the ice and turns himself to a snow boss. You must hit all the ice chunks on the snow boss's face to reveal its weak spot. You have to shoot bombs at his mouth, and then his eyes will go red, and then it will explode. Then the possessor will reveal itself. You have to go down there, and then just do a super long cutscene, and then you fight the possessor. So I think from here on out, I think I like all the bosses, but the possessor is just annoying. It can teleport, but that is kind of annoying, but you will get the hang of it eventually. Then it's kind of just a rinse and repeats, except that this time, on the snow boss's face, there will be more ice chunks for you to hit. Which means that on his face, there's going to be more ice chunks. And that would be kind of annoying. But the thing I hate about this boss, it's not the possessor, it's not the snow boss, it's just the cutscenes. They're kind of unnecessary. So yeah, you just hit the boss a couple times. I can see there is a lot more stuff on his face to protect him. So he gets the number 4 spot on the list, and also I think this guy's pretty creepy too. Just look at him. Number 3, we have GrouchyPossessor, the very first boss in the game, and he takes control of the Spider Queen. I've never seen anything like this before. This is so fun, but it is actually quite challenging for a first boss in the game. And it is quite hard, really. And I stumbled around for literally an hour trying to fight this boss. But then again, it is actually really, really fun. I actually think that the boss does deserve a lot of qualities. First of all, you have to grab this string here, and then once you grab that, you have to dodge this spider poop. But you have to flash her before you go over there, or else she's going to be mad. Then the possessor will reveal himself, and you actually see the Dark Moon piece inside of him. Then you realize that these possessors are probably going to have a bunch of Dark Moon pieces with them as you go on with the game. Then you have to select up the possessor, and then it's just a rinse repeat, except there are some new changes to the fights. It's just really, really fun. Even though it's a bunch of rinse repeats, the boss is very creative and very fun, and it also does suit for the seller portion of the game in a good manner. So in the second phase, there's a bunch of spiders, take out the minion, the bean, the boom, and you're pretty much good to go. But you will crap out the poop again. What is that? Is that spider crap? I think it is. Okay, 2 more bosses left. I have to go hands down to the final Possessor fight. The final Possessor fight. Not the final fight. The final Possessor fight. Which I kind of wish that this would have been the final fight instead of King Boo. Because I kind of prefer this one more to King Boo. Even though it's literally right before King Boo happens, this fight should have been the final boss. Except King Boo is also there as well with the Possessor. But I think that would have been too difficult. Anyway, this fight is super creative. It has the Possessor take control of 2 knights in shining armor in the very first phase. Then in the second phase, he will split himself into 3. Then you just pull the rugs and then honky door, but then you realize that there's actually no more knights in the arena, and then you're kind of confused about what the Possessor is actually going to think up of. You just suck him up the old-fashioned way. He goes to the third phase, which is probably the best part about this fight. So he was supposed to do 4, and then you are probably very confused about what's happening here. And then these Possessors are going to pull out your worst nightmare. See what I did there? No, not a funny joke. Okay. Doka is a humongous knight in armor. And when I mean humongous, I'm not joking humongous. I'm not joking at all. Look at that. Oh, that's amazing. I love the cutscene too. Like, the cutscene's just hilarious just to look at. But anyway, this boss fight is getting epic already. And I kind of wish this would have actually been the final boss. Not gonna lie. So basically the boss will then stomp his foot and then it makes a bunch of stuff fall from the sky. You also use a sword to try to slice Luigi up for some nice Luigi stew. For King Boo, probably. Maybe. King Boo? You want some Luigi stew? But, okay. So then you have to try to lead this guy's feet onto the carpet. You then lift both carpet up one by one. As you can see here, Luigi then pulls the carpet, and then a small cutscene plays of the knight getting ready to fall. You have to hurry because the knight will then put his foot back on the ground, and then the knight will fall. This is a great boss fight, but it's a boss fight that I prefer. And taking our number 1 spot, we have the Oversight Possessor, which possesses a clock. I'm not joking. This fight is pretty fun. There are so many things you have to worry about in this fight. There's a bunch of ghosts, and also a bunch of things, and there's also 12 phases. Yes, let me repeat that. 12 phases. 12 of them. Now that is just impressive, Nintendo. Nintendo always finds a way to implement a clock in their games, and they literally turn a clock into full battle arena. Now that's just impressive, Nintendo. Hold on, hands down, this is the best boss in the whole game, not going to lie. You guys cannot disagree with me. Even though the boss can make people rage a bit, and it is really hard trying not to take a hit, but I did somehow manage to do it. This is just a really fun boss overall, and I really kind of did wish that there would be more bosses like this. Like, this is the only boss in Luigi's Mansion games that implements this type of looking down. I think there's a boss fight in Luigi's Mansion 1, I believe, that has some kind of view like this. But on the clock boss fight. Even the arena is quite small too. Then the Possessor will come out at every 4th phase, I believe. Yeah, every 4th phase, because it says number 4 there. You have to try to put all the numbers back on the clock. And then, once the numbers are all back on the clock, then you win. Quite clever, and also is quite fun too. And this is why I think it's the best boss in the game. It is quite fun. But every other phase, there's a bunch of other ghosts, and it just is really fun. There is also a phase where there's literally a bunch of bombs, and if you do this flash thing, it's gonna wreck you. But then this part is probably the most annoying part. These pink ghosts come out. They're pretty cute, but yeah, they're pretty annoying to deal with. I tried sucking them all up, didn't really work that well. But yeah, this boss fight was super creative. And yeah, that's what else to say about this boss. So this is why I think this is the best boss.